It's Thursday, and that means Acting Analysis Day, and today I'm going to talk about all the money in the world. Today's clips are going to range from acting with props, acting in an environment, how the environment affects you, or in this case, doesn't affect you, a little bit of a lip sync thing, and general body mechanics changes based on outfits and props, so it kind of covers a lot. And funny enough, one of the examples actually will fit into tomorrow's FNA with environmental influences on the character. But let's get into the character stuff first, so let's start with this. So in this case, she is running towards the telephone because she is waiting news about her son that was kidnapped. And these guys are the kidnappers, but she doesn't know because he just says, yes, we have your son. And it sounds like, well, they're either the cops or someone like, hey, we found him and everything's okay. So what I want to show is we can see here how she's somewhat tense. She's kind of nervous with her hand here. That is not potentially, see that little fumbling in the arms. So she's kind of nervous. It's a little bit of, not playing, but she's definitely not relaxed. And the change of posture after he says, well, we have your son, and she thinks that he's okay, you can see how she gets up, arm is on the hip here, and you can see how the holding goes into kind of more relaxed shoulder, and she's kind of resting and she's inhaling and exhaling. Just a big change from, oh, what's going on to, oh, okay, well, everything's going to be okay. But as she talks to him, he realizes, wait, she doesn't get it. And I need to tell her, well, I'm actually the kidnapper and your son is not okay. And you can see the change in her once she realizes that. And he's just awesome in this movie, does his expressions and everything. So you can see how the somewhat more relaxed holding of the phone turns into a very, very tight gripping. There's shaking in the head, and you can see there's no blinking. There's just absolute intensity. So let's watch that again. That's a big change. And she's trying to ask, okay, hold on, is this a joke? What's going on here? And you can see there's no blinking, absolute intensity. She is in shock. And one of the things that happens too, and this goes into a bit of a change. So this example was more about body mechanics in terms of if you have your character go through different emotions, look at your body posture. Are they relaxing how they stand, maybe leaning kind of sideways and going into a bit more of a straight pose? Or maybe someone can be on the phone, and I don't have a phone, but I have this here. Let's see. Yeah. So let's pretend this is your phone and you're more kind of like this. You're kind of listening to like, yeah, what's going on? And then you hear bad news or something very exciting or something that kind of tenses you up, where you can go from this to just that, like lowering your arm, getting a bit more straight, and then straightening your head, just kind of showing your line of action of being like a nice curve and being kind of like, yeah, whatever, into something a bit more tense. So be very mindful of your posture of your character depending on the current emotional situation. So is it like this and then going straight? Like, can you show a change? And don't forget the shoulders, so that you can emphasize certain emotions and don't have your character always in kind of that default straight and just kind of doing some arm movements, kind of a bit more cliche default acting choices. So be aware of your character's emotional states. What happened before? So how does the character start the scene? Is something happening within the scene or in the middle of the shot? And then how can that maybe lead to the end where there might be some other changes to that? So in this, I thought it was interesting how she goes from this position to something where she's a bit more straight to then something where she is a lot more tense. There's one more section in this clip that I thought was very interesting, and this is kind of a future FNA about lip sync. One of the common pitfalls that student animators fall into when it comes to lip sync is to have whatever shapes that match the audio, whatever you want to say, and then go back to a default mouth. So someone says something, blah, 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 default, and then continue. So some of the things that you can put in to make it a bit more organic, a bit more natural, a bit more human-like is that we can say something and we can keep the mouth open and then go into the next line. So if someone goes, wait, what? Really? So you can keep that mouth open. In her case, she's asking, who are you? And she's starting to form that shape way earlier. So she doesn't go from default, who are you, to that. She's on the phone and she goes, who are you? So it's kind of, she's mentally already there. She wonders who that person is. Maybe in her case, she's trying to be careful and maybe not be too scared. She doesn't want to reveal her emotions because, who knows what the other person is. Maybe that person feeds off the fear of the other character and so on and so on. So she has that very deliberate and very careful, who are you? So for anybody out there that's doing lip sync right now, think about those things where you don't have to go back to default positions and you can start shaping the shape of that whatever word you're going to say much earlier, depending if it's working emotionally, if that person's going, what? But you can always do something where someone realizes something, or slowly putting pieces together where they might be normal and go, what? And then say that, because you can see that the closer they get to the realization of, wait, something's wrong, they start getting closer and closer to that word and that emotion, and then you can say what, so you can get to that shape much sooner. Anyway, this is the future FNA about lip sync. Let's get back to this. So the next one is actually fitting for tomorrow, where the outside environment, in this case, would affect the character, but in this case, it's actually not. And dare I say, I will point out that it feels kind of weird. Now let me explain what I mean. So the character has a hood type of thing over his head because he's not supposed to know where he's going. So you can see that he's covered. Yes, it's very sunny outside. Some light might go through, but now they're going into a pretty dark environment. I mean, this is going to be pitch black for him. And he's been in this hoodie for quite some time. He's in a van and they're driving and driving and driving. It's definitely dark. So I don't know how much light comes through, but still it's going to be somewhat dark for a long period of time. And it shows in the movie how long they drive. It's dark for quite some time. Going back in here, again, it's very, very dark, as you can see. And that is not a short period of time. So your eyes are definitely adjusting to something dark. Now you might say, okay, well, there's some light here, some stuff coming in. It's not super dark, right? You got light hitting this eye for sure, but at least this eye is still in the dark. And again, we don't know how this kind of hood, what the material is and how much light comes in. But why am I saying all this? It's because when you are, let's say a couple examples, you can have a hoodie on, right? And you're in the dark and you take your hoodie off and it's really, really bright. Your eyes are going to adjust and it might be blinding. You might go like, oh, I might do this or whatever it is. Or, you know, if anybody's driving through a tunnel for a period of time and it's dark and you come out and it's bright, and again, your eyes have to adjust. Now, as this continues and he's still in the hood here, and I can scrub forward, and he goes, okay, well, take your thing off. So again, you might argue there is light, blah, 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 but I'm arguing based on the movie how long he's been under that hood, and I'm being picky here, but it fits my example for tomorrow. When he takes the hood off, watch his eyes. There's no adjustment. Now you might argue that his hair is kind of helping him, so it's not so bright, but what I would do, and again, maybe in a cartoon, it might be different where you want to stylize certain emotions or stylize certain feelings and kind of go a bit more towards a pushed realism. But if you have something over your eyes, right, and you take it off and it's bright, at least have a little bit of a squint. He doesn't have to go like, ah, it's bright, but a little bit of that, and then he can just adjust. It could be really fast. But the fact that he just takes it off and then nothing's happening, I mean, it's clearly just an actor just takes off and it's a take and it looks around, and his acting objective is, oh, I'm scared and I need to look around and this is an environment that I'm not familiar with. Going one step further, if you would be animating this, I will give you the note of, well, there's an adjustment in brightness. Maybe do something with his eyes where again, hoodie comes off and it's a bit of this, and then you can do that. Does it break the scene? No. But I'm really picky right now about those moments because I'm talking about it and I will talk about it tomorrow. And I think, again, it kind of adds an extra layer to the character. Like there's more tension to it where someone takes it off and it's bright and it's not. It's like it adds to the person not being comfortable in that scene. So let's go back. You can see how he takes it off and not much is happening with his eyes. But, you know, he has a little look, heavy breathing, lots of darts, looking around. He's definitely playing the part of, what is this? I'm not sure what this is. I'm kind of nervous. Totally works. This last example is about props, and prop in terms of shoes in this case. And I want to show how when you wear shoes and you take the shoes off, how that can change your attitude. It's not massively pushed in this scene, but I saw this, I thought, this could be kind of neat. This could be something that you could push. You could stylize, you could caricature into something broader where maybe that point is the big thing in your shot. So let's take a look at the scene. And I'm motioning as if you would come with me, it's so silly. So in this example, you can see here, these are the shoes. You can see by the fast nature of her walk, she's had a very stressful day. There's a lot of stuff going on, and you can see here as she opens the kitchen and goes for a beer, their big reveal, everybody is in the kitchen. They want to tap their phones, they want to listen to things, and it's definitely very, very stressful. And then you have the daughter can't sleep, so she has to take care of so many things on top of a kidnapping. It's massively stressful, as you can imagine. So as the scene continues, and you got a little Mark Wahlberg back there doing his thing, and this is the scene. So finally, peace and quiet, she takes off the shoes, it's It's all flat. And it's a bit more relaxed. She grabs her beer. And then the walk is different. She's tired, maybe. I wouldn't say she's tipsy because she hasn't really had that much. But it's just enough of a change. And as we continue the scene, as she starts talking to him, you can see the body language is different. The way she has her arm here, the way she's kind of wavy, and that little attitude type of thing of, well, she's kind of defending her son's drug use at this point, and so on. So I thought it was interesting that, well, I haven't worn high heels, I don't know how it is, but it doesn't look comfortable. And I'm sure every woman here watching this going, yeah, it's not comfortable. So if you have something that is really, maybe you have shoes that are too small, or let's say ski boots, you know, there's something about the harsh nature about ski boots, and you got the tight grips and everything, and finally you take them off and you're in your socks, maybe in a hotel room, and it's a very comfy, fat carpet, and it's just much more comfortable to walk in. I think that could be an interesting thing in your shot, where someone has shoes that are uncomfortable, takes them off, and just that first step of going, oh, and then that changes the walk. Or you can reverse it. Someone that's really comfortable and then puts on the shoes and realizes, wait, this is not comfortable, or they're too small, and that could be a massive gear change, an emotional gear change, where it goes like, hey, and then ow, and then you close or you tighten it or Velcro, whatever it is, and that last thing is the last moment of pain, like and then you can see that maybe the person gets up and those couple steps are very painful, and then you go, okay, well, I gotta walk, I may be on camera, maybe it's a politician or whatever it is, and then the walk becomes a very stylized, over the top, I'm trying to be comfortable walk despite shoes that are really uncomfortable. So again, it's not really pushing the scene, but I thought it was an interesting moment and something that you could take and apply to your character, to your shots, in whatever way that you see fit. Now that I think of it, something else that stood out there is that there's always furniture. Obviously they're in the house and there's furniture, but she uses the furniture a lot to lean on. So she's very straight as she walks, but then when she's relaxed, there's a lot of leaning on things. So again, the prop usage doesn't have to be the classic thing where someone has a cigar or, you know, like, I don't know, like, I mean, you can have your glasses, but, you know, someone like the scholar going, I don't know about this. So there are a couple classic things that you can do with props, but it doesn't always have to be like that. Again, it could just be a piece of furniture. So how someone stands and then leans on it could help you emphasize, you know, a certain emotion. Again, going from very stressed to a bit more relaxed, or from relaxed to more tense, and so on and so on. So again, you can absolutely get away with just awesome acting with a character like this in an empty room, and it just focuses on your animation. Totally fine. But if you want to have more fun and use the environment and have the character interact with it in certain ways that can help you with your acting choices, then why not? You could explore that. So as I said last week, think about your set. Think about your set that the character could use, and maybe the set can inspire some of your acting choices. And of course, going way back to how to shoot reference, when you do shoot reference, if you do it for yourself or you have your actor and you direct your actor, make sure that the scene, you know, if I'm in here, I need something in the back that I can lean on. I'm not going to just stand and pretend to lean, because then the body mechanics are just kind of, they're useless. You're just kind of guessing. You might as well not film reference, just kind of act it out yourself. So if you shoot reference and you want to use a prop like something where someone leans on, make sure that the room that you're shooting your reference in matches that as closely as you can, and that way, you know, it's as helpful as it can be and you don't have to do any guessing. So if you've seen it and you have other comments about the movie, things that stood out, let me know in the comments. If you like this, give it a like, and as always, if you want to get all the notifications of all my uploads, subscribe and hit that bell button. And if you watched the whole thing till the very end with all your precious minutes, thank you again. As always, I appreciate that you take the time, and I will see you tomorrow if you are so inclined for the next FNA.